do not roll. Do not roll. Don't let your car roll. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I go by the name of Learner'S. To those of you who do not know me, welcome to my channel. And to those of you who have always been supporting me, thank you for always tuning in. So as you see by the title of the video, today I'll be telling you guys how you can pass your learner's test and your driver's license test the very first time around. So stay tuned. But before we get into this video, please do like this video, comment down below if you have anything to say, subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications so you can know each and every single time I upload another video. And without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing that I will be doing is telling you guys when I got my license, how I got it, how long it took, so how I did my learner's test, how I did my driver's license test, and all of that. So if you've been struggling, to like pass your learner's test or pass your driver's license test, I am here to tell you all the tips and tricks. Don't give up just yet. You are gonna get it. Some of the people get lucky, they get it the first time around. Some of us takes like the second, third time, fourth, fifth. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you got it. Did I say what I was talking about? Sometimes I just lose my train of thought. So I'm gonna be telling you guys my process, like in terms of like driving, because some of the people, like, they expect you to get a license when you're like 18. Obviously, like the minimum, like the age that you can get your license is like 18. But some people don't really get it at 18. Just because you're 18 does not mean like you should immediately go and get your license. I'm going to tell you guys the process and how everything went about. Some people are going to get their license at like 18. Some of them are going to get it at 20. Some of them are going to get it at 25. Some of them at 30, 40. Minimum age to get your license or to be eligible to apply for a driver's license is when you're 18 years old. So when I was 18, I immediately went into school and I was living at Learner'S, and I figured that I wouldn't have time, to like go and do my license, because I think I needed time. I needed to be able to avail myself, and be like, what, I'm going to learn how to drive today. I'm going to go for my lessons and stuff like that. But I just didn't have that luxury of time. I just didn't have time. But other people, they can do it. They can juggle school, get a driver's license, whatever, or get a driving school nearby and start learning how to drive and, just get their driver's license, So I think it differs for people. So for me, I immediately went to, because I just finished matric, I went to varsity, and I just didn't have time. Obviously, 18, 19, 20, let me not say 18, I finished school when I was 18, obviously, and then I was 19 my first year. So 19, 20, 21, then obviously I was still at school. I was obviously doing my degree and stuff like that. So in 2021, I finished off my final year, and then I was like, okay, I have time. So in 2022, I was like, okay, I have time, because now I just finished my degree. I have time on my hands while I'm still applying for jobs and stuff like that. Let me just do something with my time. But that also kind of like delayed and stuff. And then I was like, what? That same year, 2021, because 2021, I had finished my final year. Then 2022, that's when I got my learners. Some other people go through driving schools to get their learners and their driver's license tests. All the driver's licenses. So for me, it was different. I did my learners on my own, and then when it came to driving, I went to a driving school because I felt like they know a lot more about like what's needed at driving exams, stuff like that. So when I applied for my learners, this was around, because I got my learners in October 2022. I started learning prior to that. So I got the K53 book. Let me go get it. This book, I got the K53 book. I had got it a long time ago. My dad got it for me like a long time ago. I think he got it for me in 2020 because I thought that I was going to be able to get my driver's license because I moved back home because of COVID. So this book does wonders. If you want to pass your learners, this is the book to go for. Obviously, when you want to pass your license, you need to go through the K53. But some people don't thoroughly go through it. So I'd advise you to actually thoroughly go through it. And yeah, so I also downloaded the K53 app where you can, test yourself, like in terms of like, knowing like the road signs and all like the road rules, signs, whatever, those kind of things. It really helped. Like, let me tell you, because it will tell you if like you're wrong or you're right. Keep on testing yourself. Don't go there and be like, I know this. Don't just skim through this book and be like, I know this. No, you don't know it. Go through it, like really thoroughly go through the book. And I'm telling you, go through the book, it's gonna help you. Because I feel like some of the people that just go through it once and they're like, I know this is easy. But you know how multiple choice questions are. Like, because obviously when you go to like the learners, the testing center, when you're gonna write, when you're gonna write your learner's test, they ask you multiple choice questions. You're not gonna actually write, so, and multiple choice questions can be really confusing because they can ask you the same thing, but there are different ways to answer it. So I would advise you to thoroughly go through the book, the K53 book, and to actually download the K53 app, because it trains you and sort of like, you can test yourself. You can see whether you're ready or not, because there's a certain number or certain mark that you need to get to pass your learner's test. You don't have to pass, you don't have to get every single thing right, but I'd advise you to aim to get everything right, because you think that you got something right when you actually got it wrong. So I'd advise you to aim to get every single thing right. In that way, even if you lose marks, you're going to lose a mark or two and you can still make it. So I'd advise you, download the K53 app. Download the K53 app and use this app and use this book. Use this book. Thoroughly go through it. Don't just skim through it. Thoroughly go through it. It's going to help you. So yeah, I think I was practicing, I was testing myself quite a lot. So I tested myself with the K53 app, with this book, because this book, the K53 book, has a lot of questions where you can test yourself, and also it also has answers where you can see where you went wrong and this kind of stuff. So go for it. It's really gonna help you in terms of passing your learners. Go through it and only book your test. If you're not gonna get your learners through a driving school, only book when you're ready. When you see what I am ready, then you must book. Don't book and be I can show money. Be ready. Feel like you're ready. Even when someone can wake you up and be like, do you know this? You know it. So yeah, I would definitely advise for you to download the app. In terms of the learner's test, downloading the K53 app, and also going through the K53 book, thoroughly testing yourself. Don't just study. Take it as an exam. Don't just study and not test yourself. Test yourself. See if you're ready. If you're not ready, don't book. There's no pressure. Don't be like, oh, my friend got a license, now I must get a license. No, baby. You're going to get it at your own time, okay? But study. Make sure you get it before you actually go there, okay? And don't feel like a failure. Because as I said, some people get lucky and get it the first time. Some people need to go through it the second, third, fourth, the second, third, fourth, fifth time before they can get it. But what matters is that you actually got it. What matters is that you put in the work so you can get the results, So yeah. So I think that's it, in terms of my learners. So I got my learners in 2022. Because I graduated in 2022, then later on that year I decided to go get a learner's license so I can prepare for the driver's license test. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think writing the learner's test I was not that scared, but doing the driver's license test was a little bit intimidating, because now you have to do whatever practically, So the K53 book also comes with this. In terms of your drivers, if you want to start getting ready to drive, for your driver's license test, I'd also advise you to go. You can get this. I think you get it in every single K53 book. You can just scan the QR code, and then you can see the videos of how they're going to show you how to do certain maneuvers. All right. So yeah. And in terms of codes, I did code B. So the smaller cars. Your normal cars, your normal everyday car. It's not like the trucks. The trucks, I think it's code 10. I'm not sure what the code is, in terms of at the driver's license testing center. I don't know. I don't remember what the code is. I think I think it's a C. I'm not if I'm not mistaken. So in terms of the driver's license test, which is the most intimidating one for me, maybe not for some of you guys. I didn't particularly learn how to drive recently. So this one day, I think I was still in my first year. My dad was like, let's go and test. Not retest, but let's go and learn how to drive. So on this one morning, he went out with me and he was like, okay, let's see if you can drive whatever. And I did not do bad for first timer, this was in 20, no, it was in 20, I'm not sure, 2019 or 2020. Then I think we only went once, and then we didn't go again. All right, so I think it was just back to square one. I would advise being taught by a driving school, because as much as you can get taught by somebody close to you, like your uncle, your brother, whoever, I feel like instructors at like driving schools, they know better, and I feel like people drive in different ways. How your brother teaches you how to drive and how a driving school can teach you how to drive are like there may be two different methods. So for me, I think going to a driving school really helped me a lot. Like that they gave me tips, the tricks on how to like do certain maneuvers and stuff. And doing a code B, it's very, people like say it's difficult, because it has a lot of maneuvers, a lot of different things that you need to do. Because like with trucks, like your code 10, I think you only have to do like 2 or 3, I'm not sure, but 2 or 3 things. And then with like the code 8, you have to do a 3-point turn. You have to do alley docking. You also have to do alley docking in code 10, but you have to do 3-point turn, alley docking, parallel parking, and steep hill. I think it has a lot of things. You just need to believe in yourself, because I'm not gonna lie, when I was doing code 8, I was very skeptical. I was like, oh my word, am I really gonna be able to do this? Because my goal was to get my driver's license the very first time around. I didn't want to go back and forth. So I was very nervous. I was like, yo girl, why did you choose to do a code 8? My instructor was like, you know what, believe in yourself. This thing is not as difficult as people usually say it is. So he pushed me to my limits. He was tough, but the right amount of tough. And I think that's what got through, that's what got me through like my driver's license test, and that's what made me get my driver's license the first time around. Getting your learners, it's kind of like a little bit easier, because it's study work. That's why I got it the first time around, because I took it as an exam. So I questioned myself, but it doesn't always work the same for people. So with the driver's license test, it's practical. Anything could go wrong. Like when I say anything could go wrong, your car could roll, you could stall, those kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a lot. But I think the tips that I can give you in terms of like when you get to the driver's license testing center, when you have to test on your test day, one of the most important things not to do is rolling. Do not roll. Do not roll. Don't let your car roll. And I think that's where clutch control and like your handbrake come into play. Do not let your car roll. Once it rolls, it's done. It's done. And try to avoid stalling. That's where also clutch control comes in. Try to avoid stalling as much as you can. I don't think stalling is an immediate fail, but they can deduct quite a lot of marks if I'm not mistaken. So I'd advise you to try and avoid stalling, but do not roll, because once you roll, baby, it's done. Let's say you're at your first maneuver, like your first parking, I don't know what to call it, but let's say for example you started with parallel parking there and you roll at parallel parking. It's done. You won't even get the opportunity to go forward and do other things. Or you've completed everything, now it's time for your steep hill and you roll. It's done. And imagine now you fail your test when you're already at the end. Like it's really heartbreaking, but just try your best. I know that these things do happen, mistakes do happen. Try your best to avoid rolling. I think when it comes to my driver's license test, one thing I was really nervous about was rolling and stalling, because those were the things that I struggled the most with when I was learning how to drive with my instructor. But anyways, so I chose I know that I keep going back and forth, so I chose a driving school nearby so that I don't have to like travel from here to there, this kind of stuff. So I chose a driving school that was nearby. I checked the reviews, and let me tell you, they helped me. They really helped me a lot. They helped me. I feel like if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to probably pass my driver's license test the very first time around. So I'm really grateful. I got the package that includes like the car hire. They fetch you from like where you stay and they bring you back as well, this kind of stuff. The packages differ. Some other people don't like going for like the driving school packages. They rather pay per lesson. I wouldn't advise that, but some other people do advise that, depending on how quick you grasp information or how quick you grasp onto like certain things. So like maybe you don't need 10 lessons, maybe you need 5 lessons. So now paying for the package means that you spend more than required. Some other people, they just prefer that, what, let me just pay per lesson. I think that's for people who know how to drive. They just go into driving schools just to refine their skills a little bit, But yeah, if you don't know how to drive and you're starting from scratch or you don't have much driving experience, I would advise for you to choose the package, because I think it differs per driving school. But the lessons are sort of like unlimited. I'm not going to say they're unlimited, but let me just say they're unlimited because they don't say you only have 20 lessons. They go according to how ready you are to test. So that's how it was for me. I started learning how to drive later last year, so November 2023, because sometimes I'd get like jobs in between and I wouldn't get time to learn how to drive. Like I'd get freelance jobs or certain things would just come up and then I wouldn't be able to like actually proceed with the whole process of learning how to drive. So I started learning how to drive November last year because I was like, oh my word, there's less than a year left of my learner's license and I don't want to go do this again. So rather I learn how to drive before my learner's license expires, because it was supposed to expire this year, 2024 October, and I started doing my driver's license. My driving lessons last year November. Although the communication between me and my driving school was a little bit off, because sometimes they would come and sometimes they were fully booked or they weren't able to like accommodate me or those kind of stuff. Certain things would just come up in between. So I started early November. Then sometimes I would have 2 lessons in a week. Sometimes I'd have like 2 lessons in a week, sometimes once, sometimes never. And then I think we had lessons from beginning of November or mid-November up until mid or early December, because obviously there was holidays and stuff like that. So I think I had about a month of learning, but at the same time it wasn't a lot of lessons. I wouldn't have like 5 lessons in a week, probably like 1, 2 or 3 max in a week, or sometimes they wouldn't even come, depending on other things as well. A new year began, which is this year 2024. The first week we didn't do anything. Obviously the festive season just ended. I think people are just trying to get their feet in terms of like the new year, getting their things together. And the second week of Jan, that's when he was like, we need to do this. He started teaching me how to do certain things, or just continuing from what we're doing last year. So before I went back into driving again this year, I took a month of a break because obviously it was holidays, and stuff like that. I continued with my driving lessons this year, the second week of January. They were going quite well. He was impressed. So there's this thing that I do with my mind, so especially with driving. Even though I wasn't driving for a whole month, like from mid or beginning of December to beginning of Jan, I was learning how to drive in my head. I don't know if like that makes sense, but I would always play these scenarios in my head that I'm driving, learning how to do the clutch control. And I was also looking at videos on YouTube of how to drive, because with me, when it comes to like doing certain things, I love doing research and stuff. So sometimes I would want to go to a lesson prepared. So I'd watch how to do clutch control, especially things I was struggling with: clutch control, handbrake, when you drop your handbrake, those kind of stuff. So I was watching certain videos, how to do the steep hill, so I think we had a week of like learning how to drive this year, like the second week of January, and he was really impressed with like my progress from last year to now. And then he decided to book me for a lesson. And when he literally told me, I think 2 days before that, hey, you're gonna be testing on this particular day. And that was 2 days before I was supposed to test. I was like, oh my word, I am so nervous. I was like, oh my word, I am so nervous. Am I really gonna be able to do this? But then I was like, I am gonna be able to do this. I told myself, with certain things, and I'm just like, this is just not even about driving only, but everything starts with the mind. Once you believe you can do something, you're gonna do it. Like once you start thinking, wait, that's where everything just comes, like, that's where everything just comes running down, NJ. Believe you can do it, and you will do it. Even when he told me that I'm going to be testing 2 days before I was supposed to test, because at the time I didn't feel like really ready, but I was ready, but I was not ready, because anything could go wrong at a driver's license testing center, because I was going to be like, yo, what if the car rolls? Yo, what if this, you know, this kind of stuff. I was nervous about that, but I was like, you know what, I can do this, you know. And another tip as well, right, guys? Ask questions. Ask your instructor questions. Ask your examiner questions. If like they're there and then while you're doing your driver's license test and there's something you don't understand, or there's something they ask you to do and you don't understand, ask for them to repeat it for you, you know, so that you know what you're doing, right? And another thing that also worked for me that helped me keep my sanity, I didn't go around telling everybody that, yo, today I'm going to be testing for my driver's license test. Nobody knew up until I was like, yep, I got my driver's license I got my driver's license. I think that's what calms me. That's what makes me, I don't know, that's what calms me. That's what keeps my sanity, because you know you don't know the pressure. Imagine now you're going around telling people, telling your friends, telling your mama and your extended family that, yo, guys, today I'm testing for my driver's license test. I feel like that would have put a whole other, like, it would put like a lot of pressure on me, because I'm gonna be like, yo, what if I fail? And then you start being nervous. And it also goes for everything in life. Don't announce until it is set in stone. Don't announce until it is set in stone. Like, for example, you maybe, like, I know that I'm deviating from the topic, but for example, let's say you got a job interview. Don't go around telling people that, yo, I got a job interview on my work. Tell people. You don't even have to tell people. People will just see you working. They don't need to know that Lebo went to an interview and stuff like that. Yes, you can tell like your parents and stuff like that. You don't need to announce that, oh my word, guys, I'm going for an interview tomorrow. That just makes things like, because now you're going to feel like there's a certain standard that you need to like keep meeting, or you're going to feel the pressure of, yo, if I don't get this, they're going to say this. So whether now you got an interview and you don't get the job, it really doesn't matter, because they don't know, you know, because now you don't have to go explaining yourself, because now people will be like, yo, Lebo, how did the interview go? You don't have to tell every single person about your plans. Don't announce until it is set in stone. But yeah, I'm sorry guys for deviating from the whole topic. Let me just, you know, summarize everything. So your learner's test. Don't forget to take all the documents that you need. I will try my best to like find a link that shows you what you need for your driver's license test. Like all you need to have like your proof of residence, your IDs, you know, those kind of stuff. Take your documents, have the fees. Fees differ from center to center, so I'd advise for you to ask from the center that you're going to be testing at, or you can just go through a driving school and they can just give you all the information that is required. So the documents, the required documents, the fees, or the fees that are required. Don't forget to download the K53 app. Study like it's an exam. And also go through the K53 book thoroughly. I'm telling you guys, you're gonna pause. Go through it thoroughly. Don't book when you think that you're not ready. Book when you know that you're thinking, now I know this and this. I know 99% of what I'm doing. Book. Don't book when you're not ready. Don't feel the pressure of like, mama got this, we're different as people. You get what I'm saying? And in terms of like your driver's license test, I went to a driving school. You can go through a driving school, or maybe, I don't know how you prefer to do it, but I would advise for you to go to a driving school. And then obviously whether you want to go per lesson or package, it's up to you, but I advise for you to go through the package route if like it's your first time driving and stuff like that, because I feel like then you're gonna test only when you're ready, unless if like certain driving schools have like, okay, we only offer 20 lessons per this package, but just ask. Check for reviews, right? That's what I usually do when I'm going to a restaurant. I'm going to wherever, check for reviews, like they will help you. Go through like the videos. So the K53 book has that code that you can scan. Go through videos, even if it's not like the K53 videos, but go through YouTube and be like, how is this done? How is this done? But at the same time, I would also advise for you to listen to your instructor, because people drive differently. And what you might have seen on YouTube is not what's gonna work at the driver's license testing center. So, just ask questions, ask your instructor questions, ask your examiner questions. If you don't understand something, ask. All right? And avoid stalling, avoid rolling. Make sure that you check. Like, there's a 5-point check, like in terms of like checking for mirrors. Make sure, because when the examiner is going to be the examiner will be checking out for such things. You need to make sure that you're checking, like the 5-point check. You're checking the blind spot on your left. You're checking the left mirror. You're checking the rear view mirror. You're checking the right mirror. You're checking your right blind spot. Those are the things that are really imperative when it comes to like the driver's license test. Guys, one thing this process of getting my license has taught me is that being an eligible driver, in South Africa, it's very expensive. Like, being an eligible driver in South Africa is very expensive. The lessons, the fees, the this, the that, it's a lot. But yeah. So I hope I've covered everything. I'm hoping that I did cover everything, because I tend to deviate sometimes, but I hope that I really covered everything. And hopefully I help you. Hopefully I help you, and I'm wishing you the best of luck, whether you're testing today, tomorrow, the day after that, a week from here, or a year from now. I'm wishing you all the best, and hopefully you can come back and say, Lebo, you really did help me, or what, or whatever. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If it's your first time here, welcome to my channel, and I hope you stayed. Thank you for watching my video this far. I really do appreciate it. And to those of you who have always been riding with me, thank you so much. You are a superstar. Thank you so much for tuning in. And before I close off the video, please do like this video, comment down below if you have anything to say, subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications so you can know each and every single time I upload another video. Obviously share the video, and guys, again and again and again, please do subscribe. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.